Hey, you guys. Hey, I just want to jump in here really quickly. It's Burg. Sorry. So I'm getting used to how I could use Chrome versus Safari, so forgive me. But I wanted to talk about it. Welcome to Derry. Hold on, let me make sure I'm set up. There you go. I'm loud. I'm sorry. Okay. So welcome to the channel. I want to talk about something a little different. And hey, Hiram, let me know if you guys are watching It Welcome to Derry. Now, if you didn't know, I'm a huge Stephen King fan. And it comes from back in the day when we didn't have the internet, okay? We didn't have the internet, we didn't have TV, we didn't have all those things. I mean, we had TV, floor model, but we had it. But a Stephen King book would come out and you would go get it. A BC Andrews book would come out, you would go get it. The older women would get a Danielle Steele, yada yada. It was so much that would come out and you would go get it. So my thing was horror or romance. Those were my two genres. But I have to credit my big sister because she would read a book and hand it down to me. So we all float down here. That's right here. So she would hand the book down to me and I would finish it. And I could, to this day, you ever got a new book and even you now you go to Barnes and Nobles or the library or the book fair. Remember we talked about that on the channel and you could just smell the pages of the book. And sometimes if someone had a paperback, um you could just see how the book was folded. I miss those days, right? The nostalgia in that. But it was a book that I read as a kid. Now, did I have any business reading it? No. So this is spoilers because we're going to talk a little bit about fashion, a little bit about the colors in it, and I have not listened to did anyone do a fashion podcast on it yet? Let me know. If you do it, just shout out your girl Bird. No problem. Um I want to I know I want to say that the cast and crew are doing an amazing job. So I'm sure I do know they have the HBO podcast. I haven't been following that. And I try not to listen to other podcasts before I talk about something so I don't steal their ideas. But I was like, is anyone talking about this? So y'all just let me know in the comments below. So the color. Okay, we want to talk about that. So if you didn't know, spoiler. So this is a clown, right? I actually have a fear of clowns to this day. And if you didn't know, Stephen King is the writer of the book, and he has a whole universe where all of these stories tie into each other. Right now, we have a hero that we haven't seen since The Shining and Doctor. You guys put it in the comments. Sorry, Doctor. Was it? It's not Doctor Strange. I'm sorry, but we haven't seen him since. And now he's like the hero to me, um to see him in this film. And I'm gonna be honest, if y'all didn't know, I'm a sister 100%. To it wasn't this many black people when it came on TV with my crush, Jack Tripper. Okay. I love when we okay, so if you didn't know, it was a TV series at first, so it came on in two parts. So John Ritter was in the original series, but the only black person in Derry, Maine back then was Tim Reed, the actor, right? So let's get to it. So this is just going to be about the color and all of that, and you guys chime in and let Dr. Sleep. Thank you, Gardis. Always on point. Ladies and gentlemen, Gardis Watts. So I gotta watch Dr. Sleep again. So The Shining was too scary for me to really watch more than twice. I watched it as a kid and as an adult, but that spooked me out because I believe in sort of that. Like I believe like that stuff with spirits and stuff I don't mess with, right? But okay, I could deal with a clown and a drain. All right. So let's talk about this. If now we're skipping through. Okay. It came to TV and it starred Tim Curry. Then you guys that are younger, you guys got into it was on it was on HBO or whatever. Now Tim Curry, Rocky Horror Picture Show, and all of that stuff, right? People always ask, is Tim Curry the better it or Bill Skarsgård? I hope I'm saying it right. I like them both. I have no complaint about Bill or Tim. I feel like we got to give it up to Tim a little bit more, and I'll put them both on the screen. So Tim right here has the red bozo wig. I feel like they tried, and like the rubber nose, they mimicked him a little bit to me like Bozo the Clown. Where Bill, he is very talented, and but I feel like he has more, he gets more computer generated stuff. That doesn't mean that he's a bad actor or he's not talented. It was like Tim Curry had to do all that crazy stuff, before that stuff came on, before we had all the editing and, before we had all that. I just think that we got to give it to Tim Curry. I think people forget about Tim Curry a lot because he had none of that and he was just as scary. You would be scared, right? Oh my goodness, the blood's here, all of that. But he did his thing. He did his thing. Um, so Pennywise the Clown. Short summary. He basically, this is just Burg. Burg is not going to get technical. All the people that are really there, I'm getting as technical as I can, but we're getting to the colors. So basically, Pennywise came from this. He came from millions of years ago. He dropped down to Earth, and he is able to create your worst fear. So whatever your worst fear is, or what you're scared is of, he will make himself that. And he targets children because children are supposed to be scary. I actually think that adults could, they should have an adult it, like for real, like 40 and up it, but I think I live that right now. But okay. So he basically is the boogeyman in a drain, and he eats kids. But because he's a clown, people love him. Who doesn't like a clown, right? He has a balloon, he looks fun, he has the voice before he sinks his teeth into you, literally. Okay. So now we're on 2025 where they recreated this show called, now we're going all the way back to the 80s to 2025 where they created this show with the new Loser Club. And I'm skipping to episode 5, but I want you guys to know that Choose Compassion will be joining us weekly. We're going to go over the It series. Like, we've been talking about it for the longest, but we were just like, but episode 5 was so good. So if you haven't seen episode 5, dip out of here. Dip out of here. So we're going to be covering this every week, but we're going to be covering from the book perspective, what we saw. And you guys, it's this whole thing on TikTok where they're saying, oh my goodness, we didn't know so many Black people watch it. Where did that come from? Go to TikTok. I'm not lying to y'all. Hey, Choose Compassion's in here, you guys. Please give her a follow. She'll be joining me, and she might have her own commentary on it. Hey, Real Magnolia. He said, definitely having a nightmare night. So I want to talk about colors. Okay. So when we see Pennywise the Clown, he has red hair. He has like the white pasty makeup. He has the red nose. He's a clown. But this is what I want to talk about, the symbolism in it. Let's go back to Bill's right now. So Bill is right here, and his hair is nowhere as red as it was in the 80s, right? So hold on, guys, let me make sure you got that. Sorry, I thought I was sharing that. Let's see. His hair is nowhere as red. I think the makeup department is making him scarier and scarier. The costume department is doing wonders. He just makes the face himself. That's why I have him on the side over here. he does that crazy face himself, and it's just really good. But um what I love is that it's not so literal. If you guys didn't know, I do costumes. I worked under some of the best costume designers. Um, and I, I got to learn how red can be really harsh on film. Red is something that you definitely want to hold out for special moments. Um, Great film to look into to see what red means. Have you guys ever seen The Sixth Sense? Put a one in the chat if you ever saw The Sixth Sense with Bruce Willis. Oh, our prayers to Bruce Willis. Like that's a whole nother story we gotta talk about. But The Sixth Sense is something that you could really look at and see what red and the color red means. You have to really Oh wow. So Garter says, I'm wondering if Stephen King used a clown as a demon to symbolize John Wayne Gacy. We gotta look into that. That's a good because that's a good point, Gartis. Because when we go to the hotel that was in The Shining, he used that as a place that him and his wife stayed at. Like I think it was the day before Halloween, the day before the play. It could be. It could be. So all the It fans, let us know if you know that. So and you could be absolutely right, Gardis. If you're an It fan, you could join the conversation. The it's so if you look at Bill, it's like a his hair is red, but the blood is not as red as the hair. Okay, so I want to go to the new Losers Club. Okay, so we're on episode 5. So if you didn't know, they messed us up the first episode. Let's start with episode 1, just photos. I want to go to Maddie, who we see in episode 5. Like I said, if you didn't see it, exit out, exit out. This is spoiled. So Maddie is running away from home. He belongs to an abusive family, and he's running away from home, and he's hitchhiking, right? Oh, sorry guys, hold on. Sorry, my computer started acting up as soon as I logged on. Okay, so let's go to all these pictures here right quick. Hit the like button if you haven't, and like if I told you guys, Choose and I will be doing it commentary every week, and I would love for y'all to join us. Okay, so this is Maddie. So you guys, Maddie was in episode 1. So we meet him, and he in the movie theater, and he still got a pacifier. So he still has a pacifier, and the pacifier is bright yellow, and he's sneaking in the movie theater to basically escape his home life. Now, I want you to look at Maddie's costume just from this point of view. Now, one thing that Maddie has is what? A red jacket, and he has a underlined felt with Sherpa is what I would call it. Blue jean hat or gray hat with the underline, and it's like it's not white, it's a little bit of yellow. And what I always want to bring that to is who is in the poster of it every time you see it. Let's go back to Maddie right quick. So this is Maddie trying to hitchhike. Okay, this is from episode 1. Now, it's 2 colors that was in the Stephen King book as well as in the film adaptation, and that is the famous raincoat that Georgie wore. And Georgie was the little brother of, I'm sorry, was it Bill? Why did that just slip me? But he was the little brother of um Bill. You guys correct me if I'm wrong, in the book, and he was floating his little paper boat, and his brother was a teenager almost, so he didn't want to go out with him. And so since he didn't want to go out with him, Georgie went out, for a little while. What was that going to harm? And he had his yellow raincoat. Okay, one thing that his little boat went down the drain, and he meets Pennywise. And Pennywise is like, hey, what's up? We cool, you cool. You want your boat? Reach your hand down here and no more Georgie. But every time Pennywise wanted to terrorize someone, he had a red balloon that floated before or after his victims, like sort of, and people just would just look and say it's a red balloon. Like it could be any color balloons. Now, I want to be clear that in the 1989 version, it was multiple colors, but when we got to the film adaptation, it turned into just red. Red and yellow, in my opinion, are the signature colors that you will bring into costume or props to signify anything when it comes to it. And it's because of Pennywise and it's because of Georgie. And this is our introduction when we see the film, no matter if you're watching the 1980s version or you're watching the 2017, you could watch it part one or two. That red balloon is a signature. If you guys agree, just let me know. So, I want to go to what was so important to me in episode 5. Episode 5 was the best thing. You know, hear him. If I don't get somebody, get hear him out of here. But you're right. But get hear him. You talking about Georgie? Oh my goodness. So, but that is the more of the story. So we go back to what's happening right now. We're going to episode 5. Like I said, me and Choose will catch up on the other episodes. But I wanted to just show you what we saw quickly in episode 1. Our first main character, what does he have? The signature red and the signature yellow. And it's very subtle. You wouldn't even think about it. Now, when we see Maddie again, what is he doing? He's holding this baby, monster baby, in what? A yellow blanket. And it brings you back to the thought of it, the way that the costume department and the props department, because you could, I don't know what I would love to interview the costume or prop department for Welcome to Derry, because I would like to know if they would consider the baby would be a prop, right? If it's not a live baby, but would the blanket be wardrobe or would be a prop? However, you see Maddie in this red. There you go. So Maddie, in my opinion, and if you look at this, is representing who? Pennywise. And look at the baby representing Georgie with the yellow. So I love the way they tied in. So this is still episode 1. What do we see here? It's very faint, but our leading lady, I would say, um, is that Lily? I feel like Lily has no friends in this world. We got to get to that. Choose gonna have you got to talk about that girl. She has a light yellow blouse and she has a red shirt. The red has so much symbol, like it's so much for you to know who may be innocent and who may be in danger. It to me, you see that right away. You see that right. Look at our guys back here. A little peek of the yellow. Our beautiful sis right here, like Ronnie. She when she had 2 suckers in her mouth, they were different colors. The colors that they're doing is just absolutely beautiful. When Maddie gets taken, he gets taken. It looks like in a yellow car. I'm not sure about that because I never pay attention to cars. Um, when little Susie and her brother are in the movie theater, even though they didn't have red and yellow on specifically, look at the way that the movie screen projected on them red. So they're in danger. Now, this is who we thought was going to be the Losers Club right here. Okay. All right, so let's go to episode 5. That was my opinion. You guys feel free to give me yours. We'll get better as we go. Okay, so look. So Maddie come back, y'all. So Maddie come back. Now, if you guys thought this was a bunch of mess, let me know. I only thought it was a mess. It was a mess. So Maddie had been taken by Pennywise, right? The monster baby at the time. So they're looking for Maddie. They don't know if Maddie's alive or dead. And they go to their clubhouse. This is the real losers club, right? They go to the clubhouse, and all of a sudden, who do you see? What do you see? A yellow tent, a bright yellow tent. Okay. And then the bright yellow tint of the tent Oh my gosh. TINT versus TENT. But it was a yellow tent just sitting there out of nowhere. And so they say, announce yourself. The children say, announce yourself. And then here comes Maddie out with a red jacket. And what do they wrap around him? Even though this would be like a tan or whatever, the wardrobe or props department could have chose any color, in my opinion, and they wrapped a light yellow, tan, if you will, but wrapped that around his red shirt. Very Georgie, very Pennywise, and I just picked up on that at that time. Let me know, like I said, you guys let me know what you think. So I was looking at the color of and we'll do a replay um because I couldn't tell. Now, Richie, from reading the book, I could sort of see, and I won't spoil it here. This will be some shoes and I will talk about later. I know in my head, and you guys, we could probably discuss who grows up in Derry and have children who end up being the losers club. We got to talk about that later. But I want you to notice how Richie has a red shirt this episode, and we'll see how this reflects on him the next episode. Keep our eyes out for that, okay? All right. Now, now this girl right here, ooh, I am mad. Now, you guys let me know your thoughts. Okay. So Ronnie Daddy got set up for the murder of the original Losers Club, we thought, right? So it was Phil, Maddie, Lil Susie, and one more. I forgot his name, but we thought that they were going to be the Loser Club until Pennywise came and mollywopped everybody, right? So they sent Lily to the mental hospital because she ends up being the only one to tell them, hey, no, it was a monster baby flying around the movie theater, right? So they put her into another place. Is it Juniper Hill? In the mental facility that's been in other Stephen King's books. And they send Ronnie's dad to, can y'all guess? Shawshank Prison, right? Remember Shawshank Redemption? Best movie ever. To me, best movie. Morgan Freeman did his thing. Andy Dufresne, at this timeline, he would still be in Shawshank right now. And so Lily meets this woman. I want you guys to pay very close attention to her. It was a caretaker at the hospital at Juniper Hills. I hope I'm saying it right. And she always has on a hint of red. So Ronnie's dad said it's like, I didn't do it, and he wouldn't tell people why he didn't kill the kids. Guess what? He won't tell people because it's 10 times worse why he didn't kill the kids. It's because he was with a married white woman during the 1960s. So he's like, I'd rather tell people I killed four children than to tell the authorities I was with a married white woman. Take me to jail for killing the kids. That is insane when you think about it, but that was the truth of the time, right? So we found out they're having an affair, but the wonderful Madeline Stowe is playing this role, and she's Mrs. Kirsch. If you saw it 1 and 2, Mrs. Kirsch is the older woman that the older I'm so sorry, guys. Lu Why is this slipping me? Who was the girl with the red hair? Beth? Was it Beth? Let me know. Beth, right? So, the she was the one. She came to visit the old woman, and she thought it was Marsh on the bell, and ended up being Kirsch. Why can't I remember that? And can't remember the little girl name. But yeah, that's the one she visited. This is supposed to be her. I want you to look at how many times they put her in red. It's a hint of red in her apron. It's a hint of red in her lips. It's a hint of red in her blouses. Everything she has a little bit of red. Now, the best thing about this, we get the story of indigenous people, the Native Americans that were here in Derry, Maine, and they are even facing racism while the white man came to the land and basically took over. But the indigenous tribe, and forgive me if I'm saying that incorrectly, you guys, um, they are the only ones protecting the town of Derry, Maine, because they know the secrets of it. They know all the secrets. When you see them, I want you to see how the warriors are dressed, how the aunt Rose is dressed, how the nephew was dressed, um the cool colors, safe colors, calm colors. Okay? So that's all I wanted to say. Like when you're watching the show, kind of look, and even when we're looking here, look at not just the fabric and the color, but look at how right here we have Mrs. Kirsch and Lily. What colors do you see while they're sitting across from each other? The red, the yellow. They're using the colors even in the lighting department. You got the Pennywise. You got the I'm sorry, I forgot the little boy name that fast. I had everything written down. Georgie. You have Pennywise. You have Georgie sitting across from each other, even in just the lighting. So that's my little take on it. We'll wait for Choose because Choose has all like the psychology breakdown. And maybe if Gardis wants to join too, he could do a little history on that. But I just wanted you guys to notice like every episode, you could sort of see a little hint of who's the not just so much who's the trouble, who's the innocence. It don't mean that there'll be, but who's the danger and who's the innocence. And right now we're building up this lady cheating on her husband. You guys, we find out again. I keep on saying spoiler, 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 because it's my first time doing like a review like this. She's the daughter. Well, we knew this in episode 2. We just didn't know it film 2, it part 2. We knew this, that Mrs. Kirsch told Bebby, thank you, Bebby. Why couldn't Mrs. Kirsch told Bebby that Bev that Bev was like, what did your daddy do? She said, oh, he was in the circus, and she came around the corner, boobies out, 8 feet tall, looking crazy. It was crazy. So this is Mrs. Kirsch younger. Okay. So it is so crazy to see how great, that's all I want to say, how great that because a lot of us that are, if you do music, you listen to music differently, right? If you're an author, you read differently. If you do film or TV or editing, you look at things different. Lighting, you look at things differently. And I just wanted your opinion and to come at this perspective of the fashion sense and how every time I watch this, I see who was in the red, who was in the yellow, and by the end of the episode, I could tell like, oh my goodness, I saw this. I saw what was happening. Um, through the art of fashion, through the props they have around. Let's see if we can see the trailer for the next one, okay? Let's go to the trailer. And y'all let me know what you think. You know, if you agree or if you disagree. I just find it really interesting, and I want to do something, you know, fashionable for us, something fun, and something we could talk a little history and stuff with. Um, but we're gonna talk about Lily, Lil Lily. They keep on saying she crazy. She the most loyal person in the film, besides Ronnie, Veronica. She's trying to save her dad. It's really crazy. So let's go to the next trailer, and then let's see what we see together. Um, I don't think I've been this excited about a series. I haven't been this excited in a long, long time. Let's see if this is it. It says it. Okay, let's see. Um, I think, you know, the only critique I have is maybe the VFX. They episode 3, I wasn't that impressed. That was when they were in the cemetery. I thought they could have did better, but maybe they wanted to do fun with that. But I also know it was another director. So maybe since it was another director, you know, that's what happens. Not that they did terrible, it was just a little different. You know what I mean? So I wanted to go through that. Hold on one second, guys. So let's go and let me know if you like our little it doll. That's gonna be our it doll. It'll be 2 of us next week. Okay. Let's go to the preview. This is episode 6. And we're not even gonna get to that captain. That's what I want to say. That captain is a mess. But he was a mess on Sex and the City when he turned down Samantha. He was Richard on Sex and the City, but we'll get to that. Okay, let's go to it. Welcome to Derry, and this is the preview for next week. Let's see what we see in the trailer.
Don't be scared. Think what happened down there. I gotta find what we're looking for.
It started to glow. Maybe we can use it.
Okay, hold on. I wanted to just pick. All right, let's play it all the way through. Then I'll come back. Let's see.
Don't be scared. Think what happened down there. I gotta find what we're looking for.
It started to glow. Maybe we can use it.
Don't be scared.
That kitty killer's still out there.
I know where he's hiding.
Let me in.
This thing could see inside my head.
Let me in. Don't be scared.
Keep away from me.
Let me in. Let me in. Don't be scared.
I'm saying he doing his thing. Bill Skarsgård, he's doing his thing. So that's the end of the trailer. Let's go to some points that we saw in color. Somebody was in red right here. What is that Hanlon in red? Now, if you're not watching it, he is from The Shining, right? He's the one that helps the little boy with The Shining. No, Major that's the other guy. That's Dick. Shoot, I can't think of his name. Let me know. Put in the comments who he is. He's the guy from The Shining, but he's in red. Okay, so we'll pay attention to that next week. We'll pay attention. Oh, hey, late night crew. Okay, so we'll pay attention to that next week. And then let's go to one more.
Think what happened down there. I gotta find what we're looking for.
Be out of it.
It started to glow. Maybe we can use it.
Okay, and I want you to know, I would say, in my opinion, even though this looks like what they had on last week, he probably, no, it's not. It's what they had on last week, but someone's coming up there, right? So look at Hanlon's son. Okay, look at the yellow, but look at the red around the neck. Okay. Who else would we say it's in red? Lily is okay. She's in cool colors. Remember, we talked about this. Indigenous people were in the cool colors, in my opinion. And they were in the cool colors because they knew the key to everything. Okay. Now, who has the dagger? Only one of them out the dagger, I mean, out the group, right? Is Lily. So now all of a sudden she's not wearing red and yellow because she has the dagger that no one else knows about. And Lily has the black hair over there. It's very, very interesting just to see like the way I might be going too deep into it, but remember last week something bad almost happened to Will. That's the little boy with the yellow and the red around the neck. Now he's here in those colors. I might be saying too much. Earth tone colors would be tan, brown, even olive will be your earth tone. Okay. A little bit further.
Don't be scared. That kitty killer's still out there.
Okay. Now, what do you see here? Now, remember, we're in 1960s. Even the props department, and I could be going too deep, but I see danger. Number one, we see guns, but the red truck running through there, I automatically see this is danger.
I know where he's hiding.
Now, if you saw The Shining, let me know. Before I say anything, did y'all see The Shining before? Let me know. I don't want to say anything wrong. Okay. So Dick Halloran, if you didn't know who Dick Halloran is, he was the only black man on the so Dick Halloran was the one with the gift on The Shining, right? And Dr. Sleep. So if you guys remember this iconic picture right here, that's him now young, okay? So this is what happened now on The Shining. He told us about basically his life. And he told Dr. Sleep, like things that happened to him in his life. And if you remember that, this is one of the things. Remember, he opened up, like I said, a juke joint. But what was it called? I'm so glad I got Gardner's here. Is it called a black? Was it the Black House, the Black Box back then? But juke joint, like it, if you will. For him and his comrades in the army, they gave him, because he had these special gifts and they needed him so bad, they gave him a special place where him and his homies could hang out. And that's where all the black people hung out. So they're looking for the guy that's with Madeline Stowe. So they automatically are assuming, and that's Ronnie's dad. So they're looking, sorry guys. So they're looking for him. So they're like, it's only one place he could be in town, and that could be at the juke joint. Okay. But remember, Dick Halloran has The Shining. So we'll find out. Now, if you look at this picture, they're having a good time, but what do you see? Hints of red. Like on the bottom left, you see a hint of red. The young lady dancing in the front, she has a hint of red. The man on the right, maybe because we can't see, that might be white, but it looked like the two men in between might have yellow. So I think we'll be able to see who survives and who doesn't.
This thing could see inside my head. Let me in. Don't be scared.
Keep away from me.
He yelled at Daddy with the yellow.
Let me in. Let me in. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Let me in.
Okay, y'all. That's all I wanted to say. I just want to be on here running my mouth, introducing what we're gonna have. He was the Scottman Carruthers character. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. Thank you. So welcome to Derry. I just wanted y'all to pay attention how they put everything into stuff. Even you guys, like we got LNC in here, like the music. We got hear him in here. The music. Listen to the music they place in certain situations when you're watching movies and the thrill you get out of that. But the color, the lighting, and I think that I just wanted to say that Welcome to Derry makes me so excited because I'm like, oh my goodness, they did a great job here. They did a great job there. Even the props department. They had a part where someone pointed out the teacup from the not the 1980s, the 2017 It was the same teacup from this It was just so awesome. So just wanted to say that's all. So we'll make a schedule and then we'll do a preview of the live, and I hope you enjoyed it. And if you feel like I'm wrong, put the comment, let me know. Be like, no, I don't think the colors are that deep. But if you're now looking more into the colors, let me know. I mean, who can forget Georgie and Pennywise in that first meeting? They really took the literal sense of what scared us to death. Just that scared us. That whole yellow raincoat, and in the 80s it was a yellow raincoat and a hat, and the yellow raincoat and the red hair, or the yellow raincoat and the bloody eyes, that yellow and red, or the yellow raincoat and the balloon. Now they put it in everything so you can see a little hint of it. All right, see you guys. Look, if somebody else already did this, I ain't here yet. I don't want no problems. Please don't tell me. I'll start looking. And look, I don't want no problems.
I got some clothes. I got some jewelry. The rest I got tied up in investments. I ain't got nothing else.
Bye.
Commentary. Burgundy. Commentary. 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 Burgundy. Blue.